Do you know what typhoid fever is and how it affects millions of people each year? Typhoid fever is a life-threatening infection that's caused by a nasty bacterium known as Salmonella Typhi. It's a serious concern across the globe, primarily spreading through contaminated food or water. Picture this: every year, typhoid fever affects an estimated 9 million people. That's roughly the population of Austria. And the consequences can be dire, with approximately 110,000 deaths annually. That's like wiping out a small city every year. It's a grim reality, but one that requires our attention. In the next few minutes, we will delve deeper into typhoid fever, its causes, symptoms, and treatment. So, stick around as we unravel the mysteries of this global health menace. Ever wondered how one gets infected with typhoid fever? Let's unravel the mystery. Typhoid fever is a severe infection primarily caused by a type of bacteria known as Salmonella Typhi. This microscopic culprit is responsible for wreaking havoc in your body, leading to some seriously unpleasant symptoms. But how does this bacteria get inside your body to begin with? The answer lies in how we interact with our environment and the things we consume. One of the main ways the Salmonella Typhi bacteria spreads is through contaminated food and water. Imagine someone who's infected with typhoid fever handling your food without washing their hands properly. They could unknowingly pass on the bacteria, which then finds a new home in your digestive system when you consume the food. Similarly, if your water source is contaminated with the bacteria, you could end up drinking your way to a typhoid infection. It's not just food and water though. You can also contract typhoid if you are in close contact with an infected person. This is particularly common in areas where sanitation and hygiene practices are not up to par. This brings us to a crucial point: the importance of sanitation and hygiene in preventing the spread of typhoid fever. When we talk about sanitation, we're referring to proper waste disposal and access to clean water. On the other hand, hygiene practices include washing your hands regularly, especially before meals and after using the bathroom, and ensuring your food is cooked and stored properly. In a nutshell, typhoid fever is not something you catch from the air or inherit. It's a disease that we invite in, often without realizing it, through our eating habits and hygiene practices. The good news is, by improving these areas, we can drastically reduce the chances of getting infected. So, poor sanitation and hygiene practices and consumption of contaminated food or water are the primary causes of typhoid fever. Now that we know how typhoid fever is caused, what are the telltale signs that someone might be infected? Typhoid fever, a life-threatening infection caused by Salmonella Typhi, manifests in a variety of symptoms that can range from mild to severe. These symptoms can last for several weeks if not treated, making the disease a significant public health concern. The most common symptom of typhoid fever is an unusually high fever. In fact, the fever can soar as high as 104 degrees Fahrenheit. This fever typically develops 1 to 2 weeks after exposure to the bacteria and may persist for several days to weeks. Alongside the fever, fatigue is another common symptom. Those infected with typhoid fever often experience extreme tiredness and lethargy, making even routine daily tasks a challenge, but it doesn't stop there. Abdominal pain is another telltale sign of typhoid fever. This is often accompanied by other gastrointestinal problems like constipation or diarrhea. Some people may also experience headaches, loss of appetite, and a rash characterized by rose-colored spots. It's important to note that these symptoms don't appear in isolation. They often come together, creating a distressing combination that can significantly impact an individual's quality of life. In some cases, if left untreated, typhoid fever can lead to life-threatening complications. This includes intestinal bleeding or perforation, which can cause severe abdominal pain and may require immediate medical attention. So if you or someone you know is experiencing a combination of these symptoms, high fever, fatigue, abdominal pain, and other accompanying signs, it's essential to seek medical advice promptly. Remember, typhoid fever is not a condition to be taken lightly. It has the potential to cause severe complications, even proving fatal if not diagnosed and treated promptly. Early detection and treatment of typhoid fever are crucial to prevent severe complications. So, we've identified the causes and symptoms of typhoid fever, but how do we treat it? When it comes to treating typhoid fever, antibiotics are generally the go-to option. These powerful drugs work by killing the Salmonella Typhi bacteria that cause the disease, helping to alleviate symptoms and prevent complications. Typically, a course of antibiotics lasts about 7 to 14 days, and it's crucial to complete the full course, even if symptoms improve before it ends. This ensures that all the bacteria are killed off and reduces the risk of the infection returning. However, a significant challenge in treating typhoid fever is the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance. This occurs when bacteria evolve to resist the effects of antibiotics, making these drugs less effective. Over the past few decades, strains of Salmonella Typhi have emerged that are resistant to multiple antibiotics, making treatment more difficult and raising the risk of complications. This is why it's so essential to seek medical help as soon as typhoid fever symptoms are noticed. Early diagnosis and treatment can help to prevent the spread of the disease and reduce the risk of severe complications. In some cases, hospitalization may be necessary, especially if the patient is severely dehydrated or the infection has spread to other parts of the body. In addition to antibiotics, supportive care is also an important part of treatment. This includes drinking plenty of fluids to avoid dehydration, eating a healthy diet to strengthen the immune system, and resting to allow the body to recover. To sum up, while antibiotics remain the most common treatment for typhoid fever, the rise of antimicrobial resistance is a serious concern. It underlines the importance of using these drugs responsibly and seeking medical help promptly when symptoms occur. It also highlights the need for continued research and development of new treatments to combat this deadly disease. Antibiotics are our first line of defense against typhoid fever, but the rise of antimicrobial resistance is a challenge that needs addressing. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. So how can we prevent typhoid fever? Typhoid fever, a life-threatening infection caused by Salmonella Typhi, affects around 9 million people annually, resulting in approximately 110,000 deaths. But there are effective ways to prevent this disease, and they primarily revolve around ensuring access to safe water, maintaining sanitation, practicing good hygiene, and getting vaccinated. Access to safe water cannot be overstated as a means of preventing typhoid fever. The bacteria causing the disease is often found in contaminated food or water. Hence the need to ensure that the water we consume is free from any form of contamination. Regularly boiling water before use or using water treatment methods can go a long way in ensuring its safety. Sanitation is another key factor in the prevention of typhoid fever. Ensuring that waste disposal systems are functioning properly is crucial, as this reduces the chances of contamination of food and water sources. Additionally, maintaining cleanliness in food preparation and storage areas is essential in preventing the spread of the disease. Good personal hygiene practices also play a significant role in preventing typhoid fever. Regular hand washing, especially before meals and after using the restroom, is a simple yet effective way of keeping the bacteria at bay. Finally, vaccination has proven to be a game changer in the fight against typhoid fever. The World Health Organization recommends the introduction of typhoid conjugate vaccines to reduce the disease burden and combat antibiotic resistance. These vaccines provide longer-lasting immunity than older vaccines, and can be given to young children who are often at the most risk. In conclusion, typhoid fever is preventable. By ensuring access to safe water, maintaining sanitation, practicing good hygiene, and getting vaccinated, we can significantly reduce the spread and impact of this disease. With these prevention strategies in place, we can significantly reduce the spread and impact of typhoid fever. So let's quickly recap what we've learned about typhoid fever today. Typhoid fever, a life-threatening infection, is primarily spread through contaminated food or water, thanks to our unwelcome guest, Salmonella Typhi. The symptoms can be quite severe, including high fever, fatigue, and abdominal pain. It's a global concern, affecting around 9 million people annually, and leading to approximately 110,000 deaths. Treatment typically involves antibiotics, but we've got a hurdle to cross here: antimicrobial resistance. It's a growing concern that has the medical community on high alert. However, all hope is not lost. We have prevention strategies in place: access to safe water, sanitation, hygiene, and most importantly, vaccination are our best bets. The introduction of typhoid conjugate vaccines recommended by the World Health Organization is a significant step towards reducing the disease burden and combating antibiotic resistance. Armed with this knowledge, we can all play a part in reducing the burden of typhoid fever and creating a healthier world for all of us.